In other news, red tide still present on the Suncoast. Hurricane Matthew helped wash away much of the dead fish, but may have only shifted the algae bloom in our waters. ABC 7's Kate Flexner has more.
The latest Florida Fish and Wildlife report shows high concentrations of red tide in certain parts of Sarasota and Manatee counties. It's an issue that stretches all the way from Pinellas County south to Collier County.
Days before Hurricane Matthew made landfall in Florida, red tide left beaches along the southwest coast covered in dead fish. The damage stretching more than a mile offshore. Today, though, boaters are noticing something different. The effect's not gone, but minimized.
You don't really sense it as much, not as bad. And along the beach, a little bit of stench still from the dead fish, but not bad.
The report from Florida Fish and Wildlife still shows high concentrations of the algae in areas of Sarasota and Manatee counties. But the affected areas shifted from beaches on the Gulf to residential canals. At the National Weather Service, meteorologists monitor the impacts of winds and currents on red tide algae blooms. Senior meteorologist Rick Davis says Hurricane Matthew pushed the algae bloom towards the shoreline.
It's inland and into the inland part of the bays.
And that's because of those northwest winds that were happening during Hurricane Matthew.
Right, that pushed everything in, so it moved from the open bay, now it's into the canals, and now it's going to take a lot of wind from a different direction, from the opposite direction, to move it out of those residential canals.
Davis says those high winds push more of the toxic algae out of the water and into the air, causing an increase in respiratory impact.
We can have it in high concentrations without a lot of wind and waves, and it's less of an impact to us humans. But as soon as we have wind and waves, that's when it becomes more of an impact.
Davis says it will take high winds in the right direction for that algae bloom to shift, but that's something he doesn't expect to see for at least 3 to 5 days.
It may only be temporary because it all depends on the wind speed, the wind direction, and the waves.
For a link to the latest Florida Fish and Wildlife report and beach conditions, visit our website, mysuncoast.com. Back to you.